everyone. I've just been thinking about what it's like for all of us when we're spending more time at home than usual these days. And so I thought it might be helpful for you to hear a story. The one that I've chosen for you today is called How Full Is Your Bucket? And it's written by Tom Rath and Mary Reckmeyer. And they are actually a brother and a sister who wrote this book and illustrated it. And when they did so, they used this image of the bucket to represent a place that we all have inside of us where we can keep all of the good feelings that we have about ourselves and about the things that we do in the world. So let's get started. I'll share the book and you can see what you think. Felix was putting one of the last blocks on his tower when his little sister came in. "I want to build with you," she said. Felix scowled. "Go away, you're too little." "I'm big." "Stay back, you'll knock it over." "I can be very careful." "Go play with your baby toys, Anna." And you can see Anna gets really upset. She comes along, thwack, and kicks over his tower. "Grandpa!" Felix yells. Grandpa shook his head. "Felix, you just dipped from your sister's bucket." Like everyone else, Anna has an invisible bucket. When it's empty, she feels bad, but when it's full, she feels great. Didn't you ever notice your own bucket? Invisible bucket? Sometimes Felix couldn't quite tell when his grandfather was joking. But the next morning when Felix woke up, there it was, a small gray bucket floating above his head. When Felix came down to breakfast, his mom was in a hurry. "I've got a meeting this morning and it's almost time to go. Anna, sit still." Felix slipped and choco wheats scattered across the floor. "Felix," yelled his mom, "you should have used the stool to reach that." Felix could feel his bucket tip and big invisible drops spill out. Drip, drip. "Ha ha," Anna laughed as she crunched the cereal with her shoe. Drip. "Get the broom and clean that up before you miss the bus," scolded Mom. With the school bus honking, Felix quickly swept up the choco wheats, and grabbed the last blueberry muffin. But before he could even take one bite, Buster jumped up and grabbed the muffin from his hand. Drip. "Hey, look at Felix's new backpack. My baby brother has one just like it." Drip, drip. "Psst, Felix, psst. Watch out, shrimp." Drip. It was still morning, and Felix's bucket felt almost empty. I'm wondering if you've had times when your bucket feels empty. I know this has happened to me. Sometimes it happens if we're feeling worried about something or unsure, or maybe we have questions that we haven't had a chance to share with a trusted adult. It can make us feel like everything's running right out of our bucket. If you're feeling that way, this might be a good time to pause the video and talk with a grown-up in your life about some of the things that are making you worried. As he watched his classmates walk into the room, he secretly hoped they would trip and fall. That's what it feels like when you have an empty bucket. Felix slumped into his seat and waited for something else bad to happen. Mrs. Bumblenickel walked slowly up to his desk and handed him a paper. He could hardly bear to look. "Felix, you wrote a wonderful story. Would you please share it with the class?" Felix grinned and felt a big drop land right in his bucket. Drop, drop. "The Gigantosaurus Who Wanted a Pet, by me, Felix." The class grew quiet. They laughed at all the right places and oohed at the scary parts. When Felix finally read "The End," everyone clapped, even Emily, who sat next to him and didn't usually like dinosaurs. Felix felt a whole shower of drops land in his bucket. Maybe the day wouldn't be so bad after all. Drop. Team captains today are Veronica and Felix. Drop. "Nice cow," said his teacher. "It's a dog," said Felix. "Well, nice colors there, Felix." "Cool laser ant backpack, Felix." By afternoon, Felix's bucket was nearly full. At recess, when he looked around, Felix suddenly realized that his grandpa was right. Everyone else had a bucket too. So once Felix understands that we all have these buckets, these spaces inside of us where we carry around our good feelings, he also recognizes that even though he's a kid, he can do lots of things that help fill up other people's buckets, and that when he does that, it will fill up his own bucket at the same time. This might be a good time for you to pause the video and talk with an adult in your life about some ways that you might be able to help fill the buckets of other people that you know. "Let me help you," Felix said. "Drop, drop. Here's your baseball. Catch. Thanks, dude. Drop, drop. Hi, I'm Felix. First day? Yes, I'm Amir. Drop, drop." The strange thing was that for every drop he helped put in someone else's bucket, he felt another drop in his own bucket. When Felix burst in the door after school, he shouted, "You were right, Grandpa. I do have a bucket, and I understand how it works." Then he saw Anna's torn doll. "Bad dog," he almost scolded. But then he thought, dogs might have invisible buckets too. "Your doll will be okay, Anna," said Felix. "Mom will fix her. Until then, do you want to help me build the tallest building in the world with my blocks?" And so they did. And so can you. There are lots of ways to fill the buckets of other people. Talk with the adults in your life about some creative things that you can do. There's also a link to an activity in our social media post below. In the meantime, remember to connect with people you love, stay calm, and stay kind.